Today's scripture comes from Romans 12:2. Do not be conformed by the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your minds, so that you can figure out what God's will is, what is good and pleasing and mature. The word of God for the people of God.
Good morning, everybody. I am so excited today because our youth are going to be leading us, and for the most part bringing the message through their experiences and what they liked on our trips that we took this summer. So our big trips that we did this summer were Big Stuff, where we went to Panama Beach, and we talked about how to build our faith through foundations and how we can live our lives in such a way that is transformed because of those foundations that we have. And then we also went to Army for our mission trip, and that was in Round Rock, Texas, and we talked about all of the ways that we can be transformed by showing love and showing compassion and belonging to each other and standing up for our beliefs, and how that can transform our lives after we leave mission trip. And so I'm really thankful for this opportunity. I'm glad that this church feels that youth are a priority and that they have this opportunity to share, even though they might be stressed and nervous, which is understandable because talking in front of people is hard. So they're going to share, and we also have some stories by several that were not able to join us today but really wanted to be able to share their experiences too. So I'll be reading some of those as well. So Sarah, will you come on?
Good morning. My name is Sarah Gibson. Most of y'all don't know me because I'm actually a member of First United Methodist Church Richardson. About a year ago, I was invited to youth by some friends, and I've been coming ever since last year. I was able to attend the Big Stuff trip in Panama City Beach, and while I definitely enjoyed our time at the beach, my favorite part of the trip was being able to make new friends and grow closer to old ones. During the trip, I saw God in ways I've never seen before. When the words of the speakers during the group sessions hit close to home for some kids, I saw others going up to them and telling them that everything will be all right, that people are here for them, and that they are loved. It was kids from different parts of the country who had never met and probably never spoke again, but we were all drawn together because we were experiencing something powerful together. I'd like to think that was God. I've also never seen 1,000 kids be quiet all at the same time. The trip helped me grow in my relationships, faith, and foundation. I'm forever grateful for my experience, the welcoming youth program here, and my friends that brought me. Thank you.
I'm going to be reading words from Aubrey Tillery and Haley Tillery. So Aubrey says, going to Big Stuff was an unreal experience. At first glance, it's just a camp where you get to hang out on the beach and worship with friends. What isn't seen is the transformations that occur during the week. I love Big Stuff because I get to go and have fun with my friends on the beach, but then we also go get to worship with sessions where we hear from the Word of God through music and speakers. You can see transformation through everyone there, starting the very first night. Through the way that everyone in the room, including myself, are throwing their hands in the air during worship music, you can just see God moving through everyone in the room. There was one night where Leslie Mack was speaking, and they had reorganized the room to where the band Forever Free was in the center of the room, playing in a circle. I can't entirely remember what Leslie Mack was speaking about, but I do remember that it got me thinking about everything that happened in my life and now how I have been pushed and challenged. God has been there through it all, and the tears just started rolling down my face. But I was not alone. There was a group of people behind me, all crying and huddled together praying. And these two girls saw me and came up to me and just stood there with me, and we all finished our worship together. Another message that really resonated with me was when Leslie Mack discussed rest. The ultimate message was that we should build our faith and then rest in it, and the rest is something that all people need. Personally, I'm a go-getter. I will get whatever needs to be done to the best of my ability, even if it means I must stay up all night to do it. This message challenged me to step out of that mindset and work towards prioritizing getting the rest that I need and putting that need first, before what else I'm supposed to be doing it gets done. All in all, Big Stuff is just an amazing place where God is so present and working through the youth there, including myself. I would not trade my experiences at Big Stuff for the world. Thank you. And then this is from Haley Tillery. And Haley will talk about Big Stuff and UM Haley says, I've gone to a lot of church camps and felt transformations through all in multiple different ways. So instead of talking about which one was my favorite, I'm going to talk about where and how I saw God in each one. Firstly, at Big Stuff, the worship is incredible. The music, the community, and the sermons just for people like me to truly feel my faith grow. You realize everyone has their own relationship with God and their own story. I experienced this for myself when Stuart Hall, one of our speakers, looked at me directly in the eyes when he said something I really needed to hear. I know God was there in that moment because it can't be a coincidence that somehow, when Stuart said something that really resonated with me, he was saying it seemingly just to me. I also experienced part of other people's stories during worship. We had one night of worship where Leslie Mack was speaking and giving us large amounts of time to pray and to pray for each other. In one of those, a boy from another church was in tears, hugging his friends, and I remember him saying, I just don't want to be alone anymore, knowing that now he wasn't alone and God was with him. There were so many more ways I saw God, but for time's sake, I'm just going to say one more. During that same sermon, we were told to ask other people what they were praying for. I asked an intern that was sitting there praying, and she was genuinely shocked that someone would ask her. She told me that she was praying for vulnerability, and we sat there together praying for each other. At Army, I saw God in a very different way. When we were working on houses, I saw him in my teammates, my leaders, the clients, and even in the couple who let us shower in their house. Their names were Mandy and Dawn. I saw God in my teammates and leaders while we were working through their never-ending patience and their flexibility. We had to go with the flow a lot, and we were able to do that and make those decisions quickly, unless it came to the music we were going to play on my phone. I saw God in our clients each and every day, in every site, but especially in the couple we had on our last day. The woman, Joyce, cried when she was thanking us before we had even started the work, and told us that she had been praying for us and that we were a blessing. I don't know if y'all have ever been told that before, but she almost had us in tears too. Although there were many more ways that week, the last one I'll share is through the couple whose house we showered at. They made us snacks, gave us ice cream, and let us help train their dog, and had long conversations with us. They were incredible hosts and incredible people to put up with a lot of us. Finally, at both these camps, I knew that the presence of the Lord was here and that I felt it in the atmosphere. I could feel the presence of the Lord, and we all got our blessings through these summer experiences.
So my name is Reed, and I wanted to talk about my bonding experience on my mission trips. On our mission trip, we meet random people, and we're instantly accepted. When I got up to the mission trip room, or the youth room, the guys, since I'm the only guy on our mission trip, they immediately accepted me and asked if I wanted to play cards. And from that night on, we played cards every night. On the work site, how we get really frustrated with each other and annoyed because it's so hot outside, being like 102. We make do and become friends. And it's really nice how we get to make a bonding experience with people we've never met before. And they don't understand what we're going through or what we've gone through, but you just know that they're there to listen. It's nice to go on those mission trips because you meet long-lasting friendships like that. And I hope I get to go on more now that I'm leaving. Thank you.
My name's Abigail again. I went on Army this year, which was the mission trip for our youth. I had such a great time getting to know so many new people and also getting to know my fellow youth members better. This year, I fixed 2 drywall holes in the roof, and then I also helped build a 54-foot wheelchair ramp that the owners couldn't really do for themselves anymore. I saw God in the homeowners that we helped, but I saw them more in the house that we got to shower at the end of the day. they were just so welcoming every single time we would come. Whether that was like letting us swim in their pool every single day after we like had work outside for multiple hours in the hot, and then also through every single time that we'd come to their house, they would have cookies ready for us whenever we got there. And over the span of 4 days, they made 580 cookies, and we ate all of them. And so like I saw God in them, but like in the homeowners, but I mostly saw it in the people's house that we stayed at, because the word that week was transformed, and you could just see in their lives like they were transforming while all of us were at the same time. And yeah, I had a really good time. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Addison. This year I went on a mission trip, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my experience. So this year we went to Round Rock, Texas, and worked with other churches from like the Dallas-ish, North Texas area to help provide for the community of Round Rock. My work team ended up getting to 3 different sites where we did many jobs, from like moving brush and taking it to the dump, painting a kitchen and a bathroom, installing a screen door, which is a lot harder than you would think given the Home Depot's very vague instructions. And we also cut a tree that had fallen on a roof. And then throughout these projects, I became really close with the youth and the adults that were in my work team. I could see God through all of them by how strong their work ethic was, even out there in the 102-degree heat, and how patient my work team adults were, even when we had put the screen door on wrong about 7 different times before we finally got it. One of the main moments that I was really looking forward to this mission trip was the prayer stations. We did those when I went on Army last year, and it was a time where I felt that I got really close to God, and I was really looking forward to that. It always happens on like the final night. But the thing with the prayer stations is it really depends on how effective they are by how focused your group is during them. So I got really blessed both years in a row by having a group that was they were so kind and compassionate when everyone is taking the prayer station seriously. Almost everyone was in tears as we're walking throughout the church doing the prayer stations. We're all just hugging each other, and we're all just getting really close to God. And it's honestly one of my favorite moments of the summer each year. But I saw God through all of my work team, but also we're one of the smaller churches that go on things like this. We only had like 8 or something. But instantly, the first night, you start making friends with random kids that aren't even your age or from your church at all. Like I became best friends with some 8th grader named Connor that, I don't know. You start just becoming really close friends and sitting with them during worship and meals, and it's an awesome time every year to come and make friends that you might not see again, but you might see again all the time, like my group from last year. But it's a good opportunity that I'm blessed to have. Thank you.
I have 2 more stories to share from mission trip kiddos. So Katie Daniels is also not here today, but she wanted to share, and she says, "There is no possible way to put into words how much this trip has changed me. Originally, I wasn't going to share anything, but thankfully my dad talked me into it. This has truly been the best mission trip I've been on, and I made memories that I will cherish forever. I saw God through feeling accepted with a group I had just met the day before. I saw God through the homeowner we helped being able to come out of his shell and talk to us, even though he struggled with crippling anxiety. The laughter and happiness was so immense and possibly met the funniest people I know. So thank you." And then Adriana Colton shares, "Mission trip was such a transforming experience for me. Going into the mission trip, I was terrified because I was told the day before that none of my friends I had made last year were going to be there this year, so that set the foundation for panic. When I got to the church in Round Rock, my anxiety level was high, and meeting my work team for the first time didn't help. But one thing did, and I was relieved to see that Addison was in the same work team as I was. It really calmed my anxiety. Throughout the week, I saw God moving through my work team, how we all bonded so well that we considered ourselves a family. We even started calling our work leaders Mom and Dad. I also saw God when me, Addison, and another guy from our work team and our work leader struggled to put up a screen door in the heat. I definitely saw God through each and every one of us maintaining patience in this situation, and Addison cracking a few jokes to lighten the mood. Those jokes really helped, so thank you, Addison. God also gave me my work team leader, Jason, Dad, the patience when I used the drill for the first time and kept stripping the screws. He kept us cool even though anyone else would not have. The last day of mission trip, we had prayer stations with our work team, and something about that night created an unbreakable bond between my work team. These people became more to me than just my work team. They became close friends of mine, and without them, mission trip week would have been unimaginable. Go Blue D. So as you can see, this summer was really important and impactful for so many of these youth. They learned so much about being transformed by God and by the relationships that they build. And it's incredible to me, especially because God works in so many different ways, even in the midst of our anxiety and our uncertainty and being uncomfortable and doing hard things that we've never done before, like drywall and cutting down trees and putting up screen doors and painting. God's there in the laughter and the joy and the newness of everything too. Youth ministry obviously is so important. I am a little bit biased, but the youth and the adults that are involved, the relationships are built and they have a lasting impact on everyone, and it moves throughout their lives, not just this one summer that we had. It's been a joy getting to work with you guys, and for the ones that aren't here this summer, it was my first summer with these kids, and it was so fun getting to know them and getting to bond with them, and they have made this summer be really enjoyable and memorable and special for me as well. So thank you guys, and thank you for sharing. You guys did a wonderful job.
Good morning. Christy asked me to speak. I also went on the Army trip, and for those of you that haven't been on a mission trip, I just wanted to give you a little flavor. Sarah started dragging me on mission trips, and I don't think I'm exaggerating, it was at the turn of the century. We took the Ferrum kids and the Yost kids in their vehicles with their tools. We knew nothing. And I don't know that we really are very far past that, but we've been at this quite a while. So on this mission trip, I wanted to give you just that flavor of, if you can imagine 40 or so semi-adults, multiply that with 2 to 3 times as many youth, and the biggest portion of all of those people, it's their first mission trip. So the experienced group that is there is made up of teachers, pastors, youth directors, police and firemen, pilots, nurses, administrative staff, financial sector folks, and maybe an architect. Rarely do we ever get a plumber, an electrician, a contractor of any kind, or a construction trade folks to help us guide us through home repair that we know really nothing about. So setting the scene, getting started the first few days of the mission trip is rough. We just have no idea what we're doing, or how much labor is involved, what supplies are needed, and what quantities of supplies are those needed. Abigail mentioned watching Bugs Life. I experienced that. We got to the house, the homeowner was in need, had all sorts of plumbing issues. We were buying plumbing parts, none of them fit. Where we didn't have leaks was now leaking. One of the places that was leaking had stopped, so that was good. And so the kids were kind of standing there going, what do we do? And it was chaos. We didn't know yet. So that's kind of mission trip. However, with some luck and determination, prayers and divine intervention, somehow it all comes together, and we're able to complete our mission of showing with love and caring how we could help this community. So it always kind of works out in the end, somehow, and it's always a mystery to me. Katie Daniels, I'm glad, also mentioned this. At one of the sites I was on, all of the paperwork talked about the homeowner had extreme anxiety. But he was letting us in because his toilet was also falling into the floor. So that made sense to me, but he wasn't going to be able to interact with us. There was just this big long story of, you're going to have 11 people in this small house with him, and he's not going to be able to interact with you. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, how awkward is that going to be? Luckily, by the end of the first day, he was greeting everyone, playing some really groovy 70s country music, which I enjoyed, and then thanking all of us for coming to help him. So it turned out well. We had sheetrock work, we had some painting. We were all up in his business, moving his furniture every day from one room to the other, and it worked out. And he accepted us, and I don't think we added to his anxiety level. I guess later somebody maybe else could tell after talking to him, but it worked out. So that's kind of my experience. This trip was wonderful. Christy got us there, but it was kind of that same story of chaos at the beginning. You start to think, hey, we're going to make it, and then you do kind of stick the landing. So that's what happened on this one. Thanks.
Hello everyone, my name is Mariana and I'm the intern. I just want to share a little bit of my experience going to Big Stuff and Army. I really liked Big Stuff. It was something different for me because I'd never been in Florida, so it was a great experience. I really liked it. But there were, it was a time that I experienced like worship, and it was really good for me. I felt like everyone, like all the youth were like just together and worship. We were at the beach, but it was really good, and I really liked it because we were not just the youth and worship, but also there were other people that were just walking and they saw us, and it was just like I saw God in them because they were coming with us, they joined us, and we're all together worshiping, and it was just an incredible time for me. Also, I really liked the small groups. I had the opportunity to know the youth more, and they were talking about some of their experiences, some of the problems that they were passing through, so it was really helpful for me. I really liked it, and I really liked to connect more with them. It was a good time, and also my favorite part is, my favorite trip, I guess, is Army. It's just like serving the community. It's something that it's really important for me. And we had the opportunity to build a ramp, a wheelchair ramp, and I had the high school students, and it was incredible to see them working, but also like they didn't complain. They were just working so hard. They were asking for more work. I also had Aubrey and Reed, and it was just amazing to see God working through them to help these people in need. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. It was just incredible, a great opportunity for me. And also, I invite more parents and adults to come and join us. And on these trips, they're amazing. You will see that the students are not the only ones that are learning, but also you. You get a time to experience a lot of things. It's not just for the youth, but also as parents. It's really important for us to be there for them. Thank you.